Hello and welcome to Mikey Learns. Today's automation series is going to cover a common business ask of traditionally your BD and contracts folks, but it could be other departments or teams. The ask is quite simple. We need to have it so a library, when you create a folder at the top level, automatically deploys standardized subfolders. We also don't want anyone to be able to create folders beneath the parent level folder because we want a rigid folder structure for the sake of maintaining our documents. Pretty simple and straightforward ask. There's quite literally 1,000 ways to do it. This video is going to be under 10 minutes, and I'm going to give you a quick, intuitive way on how to build this and make it foolproof. Here we are on a site called Create Folders. We have a document library called Subfolder Automation. To exemplify the use case, the idea would be to create a new folder at the parent level, let's call it test, and then automatically we deploy some level of subfolders here automatically. We also have folder creation disabled, except for at this level in the library, the parent or the root level. So that's the use case. Now, I'm going to use Flow to accomplish this. You could use SharePoint out of the box features. I think that the way you choose to solve this solution is going to be based upon what your user base is accustomed to using. Our organization heavily relies upon approvals, so our end users are accustomed to using Power Automate's dashboard. So I'm going to go with a very straightforward and very simple Power Automation solution here. One requirement though is no folder creation where possible. So I'm going to outright remove the ability to create a subfolder. Actually, any folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Library Settings, go to Advanced Settings, and I'm going to remove the ability to click the new folder button. It's right here. Sorry, I skipped over it. I'm going to toggle that to no, and I'm going to hit OK. Now the user account I'm on right now, Micah Stremmel, is a administrator to this site. Um, I don't have that window open. Just take it for what it is. I'm an administrator to the site. Even being an administrator to the site though, I can't create a new folder. So this would satisfy those cases where even your owners of a groupified, if you'll notice this isn't a group connected SharePoint site, but even for those sites that are groupified, even your owners won't be able to create folders. They're going to have to use, in the way I'm going to build the solution, they're going to have to use Power Automate to build folders. So even the owners can't mess the folder structure up, which to me is ideal, based on the ask that's been requested of me. So onto the flow part. Let's create a flow. Just create a manual trigger flow because I'm going to direct my users. I'm going to train them to come to the dashboard, the Power Automate dashboard, to accomplish this root folder creation. The input label, this can be whatever the stakeholder wants. Put in folder name, right? And then give them a text. This is a text manual trigger. Then we need to create new folders in SharePoint. Let's just do 2 for the sake of time. So I'm going to copy this action so I don't have to look it up again. Now what I'm going to do is, actually I need to do 3. Let's see here, copy to clipboard, doesn't really matter. So the first one is going to be the root folder name. And so why is this action? See, this is why I do not use the copy to clipboard functionality. It doesn't work. See the discrepancies in these? They're broken. This might take 10 minutes now because of this. Create new folder. Alright, create new folder. I need 3 because I want to have 2 subfolders. Now the reason I need 3 is this first one has to be the root folder name. So the site address on all 3 of them and the list and library are all going to be the same. It's going to be this create folders site. It's also going to be the subfolder automation library. Now for the first one, I want to create the root level folder. So I actually want the this value, which is the question. So it's down here near the bottom. Put in folder name. So that's going to be the parent level folder. Now I will tell you that this is very finicky. If you've ever used Power Automate, you know that that's true. Um, but I'm gonna do the same value for all three of these, but let's see here. For the bottom two though, I want the subfolders. So slash, let's call it folder 1. And then let's say folder 2. Now it's totally possible that when I hit save and try this flow out, it's totally possible that flow disregards this value on both fields and totally screws this up. However, once you eventually get it to save properly, it does work. Um, I do love flow, but it's very finicky. Once it saves properly, it's fine. I don't really have any issues, but creating stuff the first time can be kind of tricky. So I'm gonna run this. I mean, it's likely to work, but we'll see. So um, it's important though that the connectors. Um, oh lordy, I didn't mean to click that. It's important to one thing you should do as an organization is have a service account. Well, it looks like the field's stuck, so that's good. You should have a service account that creates all these automated tools or solutions. And the service account should be what creates and hosts all these solutions. That service account should have administrative rights over all the resources that it touches for solutions. So the connections for SharePoint should be the service account. In my example, it's my user account, so Micah Stremmel, which is also an admin to the site that we're doing this to. Um, but that's how it should be done, in my opinion. That's how we do it at all of our the last two organizations I've worked for. So over here in the library, even as an administrator, I can't create a new folder as told before. So my users have to be trained to use Flow. Now, right now the Flow is only associated on my account. I need to share this Flow out to anyone who should have the ability to create those parent level folders. The best way to do that would be to have a security group and share this Flow to the security group. So in my test tenant, I conveniently have a group called security group. Now when you share it to the security group, it's going to leverage the connection made by the service account. So even though this security group might have just like say contribute level access to the library, it's still going to be able to create those folders because the connection made by the service account. So once you deploy this flow to the security group, you just train the users to come to flow, click my flows, click team flows, because now it's a shared flow. Then they just hit the play button. They accept for the first time they come in, they're going to have to hit the accept button, and then they just create a folder in this field right here. They name the folder and hit run flow. Takes 2 seconds, gives you a confirmation, and then seconds later you have the main folder and both subfolders. It's quite literally that simple. And no ability to create subfolders. Now, I think that's the best of both worlds doing it this way because now I have positive control over the security group's permissions as well. So 100 people could have access to this library to upload files to the various folders, but you could restrict folder creation to the security group that has access to this flow, which might only be 5 people or the team lead or whoever. So this is, in my opinion, the best possible way to do that solution, but it does require that the consumer of the solution, whoever needs to create the folders, it does require that they know how to go to the Power Automate dashboard and use this manual trigger flow. So that's really the only requirement. There's numerous other ways you could have done this. One way, like I said, is SharePoint out of the box features. Another way would be, yet again, Power Automate. You could create a flow that, I'm sure you could find an example online, but you could create a flow that does a check for if a folder is created. Is the folder created at the parent level? If so, create more folders. But then when you do that, you have to account for loops, because now you're creating folders that then trigger the flow again because folders are created. So you have to account for loops. Then you also have to account for scenarios where, what if they create a folder 3 levels deep? I need to be able to conditionally check that to see if it's a folder at the root level or not, and if not, then don't do anything. So you got to build in all those checks, all those conditional statements to kind of make that work. Now it does make it more seamless in the sense that the user interface would be SharePoint itself, and they would just click new and folder, and it enables them to create folders wherever they want and only deploy standardized folders at the parent level, or beneath rather a parent level folder. So kind of maybe the better user experience, but as far as strictly maintaining the document and folder integrity, I think that the solution presented here is pretty superior. So if you have any questions or suggestions on this build, though, I'm sure people will scan through the comments to check out what feedback people might have. So please leave a comment. Uh, Thumbs up the video if you liked it, and if you have a suggestion for a future video or you want a prototype or a demo built out, let me know. I'm willing to take suggestions. So, anyways, have a great day and see you again.